Welcome to the Click to Call Power Team presentation. I'm putting together a power team. The whole idea is to generate real estate leads for myself and my realtors. And at the moment there's me, Mark Elliott, Yellow Hat Home Inspections involved, and Doug Ogborn. And I'm going to tell you a bit about this whole process that I've developed, which I think will drive leads to realtors, anybody in this team. And there's going to be 4 people in the power team. One of the things that's important to understand is that when people buy anything, they go through what is called a buying cycle, and we're going to be exploiting a very well-known feature of the buying cycle, which is the way in which people behave when they go into awareness, consideration, and research. I can explain more about that later, but I just want you to be aware that we do know how they behave. We know their psychological behavior, we know what they do, what they think, etc. as they go through this process. So we're exploiting the awareness campaign. If you're interested, you can get my book, which is available on Amazon. It's a marketing book, and it's called Demand Creation Marketing. The area we're going to be farming is Zillow, and some of you may be aware of Zillow. Some of you may have used it. But Zillow allows you to buy a zip area from which you get leads, and you get them on a monthly basis. And you can see here we're looking at Zillow, and you can see we've got a web page up, and it's 75025. And we just come out of this at the moment, and I bring up the actual web page itself. Here's Zillow here, and I just simply come down and put in a code 75034, for example. Well, let's go for 35, and I tell it to go and list all the homes in that area. Up it comes, and you'll notice that some names come up here that you may be familiar with. You've got the Garrett Fox team here. They're in the Keller Williams Frisco office. Anyway, any of the leads, anybody clicking on any of this information here is going to bring up their pictures and their contact details. And that's where this comes in. This whole team that I'm putting together comes in, because what I want to be able to do is working with 4 realtors to allocate something like 20,000 impressions a month to a realtor, from which they're going to get some calls. And I want a tight-knit team that's going to work with me and tell me what the results of the work is. The whole process is based on, when people are out and they're looking at houses, is based on the iPhone and the and the Android type phones, the smartphones. The website's useful, but really you should consider what happens now with the smartphones. Let's consider, for example, somebody's out and they're out on a Friday night and they're meeting up with their friends and they're talking about their house they've just listed, and they might bring up their iPhone, or they bring up their smartphone, like my Android, which is shown here. They'll click on that, which is their listing, and it'll go through and it'll show them a picture of the house, but at the end of the process it comes up with a realtor, and if they click that button at the bottom there, it's going to phone that realtor, and that could be you. And that's the whole intention, is to drive traffic to the realtors so that you actually pick up on the lead from that person. Now, as people are looking at they're sharing this information with their friends are going to say to them, well, what's my house worth? And, of course, because they're on Zillow, they'll be able to do that, because Zillow not only lists the number, all the listed addresses, it also listed all the addresses that are not listed, but they also give a value. I'll tell you a bit about that now. And the best way to compare Zillow is to look at Zillow compared to Realtor.com. Now, Realtor.com has 100% of active listings. Great. They all come from MLS. Good. Zillow at the moment only has 94% of them. Hey, that's only 6% less. But Zillow features all the foreclosed properties and other distressed properties, which it's actually taken as a direct feed from foreclosure.com. Zillow also shows order for sale by owners, and it also shows what we call make a move. Well, what does make a move mean? Well, I'll show you what make a move is. If we come here and we look at this particular area, and we're looking for make a move, these blue houses are houses that are not listed, but there's a value given to them. And if I just click on the link and bring it up, it comes up with a picture of the house, its location. You can immediately see it's got a pool, okay? And then it's got the price of the property. This is a Zillow estimate, by the way. It's not very accurate, it's sort of accurate. And it gives details about the property. Now you can find out who owns that property by going to the tax records, but immediately other people looking around the area, if it's their home, they're going to look and say, oh, my property is worth that, perhaps I should think about moving. And that's what that does for you. It allows you to get contact with people that have not actually entered the awareness stage. They're just in that, oh, that's interesting, my house is worth that much. There's some other facts about Zillow that are really useful. And again, let's compare them with Realtor.com. Zillow has 97 million residences on their site, of which 78 million have estimates of cost. Now, all these houses are not listed. No, they're just houses that people own, and there's the property price. The property prices come from the tax records. So they're sort of reasonably accurate. They're not good. The for sale by owners are all listed, and all they have to pay to actually list the site, all they're paying is the $10 for 6 months. And the FSBO sites also appear on a smartphone. So if you're searching on a smartphone, as I was showing you earlier, your for sale by owners are all going to come up, which also means you, as a realtor, can take buyers to them and talk to them about actually improving their marketing by having you market their house rather than try and do it themselves. All of this is based around Realtor.com. Zillow.com. It's easily as good, if not better in a lot of ways, than Realtor.com. It's driving a lot more smart apps to it than the Realtor.com is, and the prices for buying the zips currently are quite reasonable. So what I'm looking for is some partners to join me. The cost of joining the group is $186 per month. The commitment is to 1 month only. That's all the commitment is 1 month only. And we will then review it at the end of that month to see how many leads you got through, what the traffic was, and I'll give you all this information because I'll get it from Zillow, what the traffic was, what the number of people were looking who didn't actually contact you, and where they lived, or where they were when they contacted you, and whether they were on an iPhone or a website when they looked at your little advert that would go up there. So I want to talk to you about this. This is just a short presentation to give you an idea of what it is, but please take some time and meet with me, and I'll go through it in depth. Thanks for listening.